And they're trying to make an excuse as to why the Clippers blew the 3-1 lead. And in this case, there's no excuse and there's no reason. People keep saying different things that don't add up to much or nothing. If you really think about it, there was no suspension. There was no injury. There was nothing that happened right at the point when they were up 3-1 to propel the series, for them to lose the series. So stop making excuses for them. We didn't make excuses for Michael Jordan when he kept getting exited out of the first round. We didn't say he didn't have this, he didn't have pieces. All they would say was he's a great regular season player. In the playoffs, he's not a good team guy. And they thought he was never going to win a ring. He got better. To this day, Isaiah Thomas, who Michael Jordan has beaten and beaten him so bad, made him walk off the floor without shaking hands. He always brings up the fact that Michael Jordan couldn't exit the first round for like 7 to 8 years, even though Mike has 6 rings. That just goes to the point of no excuses. Everything gets held against you in a certain fashion, a certain light. We never made these excuses for Kobe. When Kobe lost Shaq, we never said, "Oh, like Kobe, he doesn't have Shaq. It's not his fault." They ragged on Kobe. They said he's the reason that Shaq got out of there. He made his bed. He needs to lay in it. Clippers need to lay in this. They just need to own it. You know what I'm saying? Like, all the stories that you're hearing is so terrible and so awful. Kawhi Leonard, he feels like the team just needs to be smarter. You guys were so smart. You were up 3-1. When did you become dumb and lose the 3-1 lead? You stopped doing the things that got you the 3-1 lead. People are saying, well, they didn't have enough time to gel. The whole unit played together for only 19 games. I didn't hear this shit when they were up 3-1. I didn't hear like, oh, they only been playing together for 19 games. So watch out. This might be a problem because they're up 3-1. They only been together for 19 games. Oh, be careful. You know, they might implode. They might collapse. Nobody said this or saw this coming. When we find out we had a game 7, when people want to bring up these excuses, the team was smart when they had a 3-1 lead. The team had chemistry when they were up 3-1. The thing is that there's some front runners. And they don't want to accept the blame. Paul George says, I didn't feel like this was a must-win now. I didn't feel like this was a championship or bust. But earlier this season, he said, yeah, I feel like this is a championship or bust. Reneging on what you said. No excuses for what you did. If LeBron James would have went 0 for 11 in a quarter, like he did in Miami, like I think he played good 3 quarters, and when they lost to Dallas, he couldn't score in all consecutive 4 quarters. He gave you 2 or 4 points. They ragged on them. This is what the Clippers get. They got to get ragged on. Now, next year, you can come back and do whatever you got to do, but now you got to get ragged. You have to own this. You have to own this. There's no excuse. Like, there's no suspension. Like, Draymond Green, like, Warriors lost in 7 games, but there was a suspension. There were things that happened in the middle. There was injuries. You could give a reason why somebody lost. Like, when LeBron James lost in 2015, up 2-1, you could give a reason to say, well, he lost Kyrie and Love. You know, somebody could accept that reason. But in this case, you have no excuse and you have no reason. So don't make one. Don't say we struggled. We didn't hear any of this stuff when you were up 3-1. I don't want to hear it now at all. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't give these people a pass because the greats, we never gave them a pass. We never, ever gave them a pass. People didn't give Kevin Durant a pass. People didn't give Michael Jordan a pass. People didn't give Kobe a pass. People didn't give LeBron a pass. Why would we give Kawhi a pass? Why would we give Paul George a pass? Come on, man. Get out of here. Lakers, Nuggets, who wins the series? I think this is a 6-game series because the Nuggets can get hot and they can take a game or two. But eventually, the length and also the activity defensively by the Los Angeles Lakers is going to overwhelm them. Then you have to factor this. Jokic gets in foul trouble early and often. Gary Harris gets in foul trouble early and often. LeBron James and Anthony Davis will put the Denver Nuggets in the penalty because they do not shoot mid-range jumpers. They don't only rely on threes. They get to the basket and try to eat at the free throw line. And the Nuggets are a young team, and they will be fouling a lot. That's just the bottom line. You know, it was watching that series, it was uncharacteristic Game 7, how much the Clippers, Game 6 and 7, how much the Clippers fouled. But now that kind of turned around, and the Nuggets, you know, they got the benefit of that. Well, guess what? LeBron James is the ultimate manipulator of referees, and he will get those foul calls at all times. I guess I've seen people blow on him, or barely touch his jersey, to call a foul. You know what I'm saying? So he's gonna get those continuations. So is Anthony Davis. The Nuggets have a great team, a great roster, but this is where you can't get down 3-1 in the Western Conference Finals. Even though Steph pulled it out against the Oklahoma City Thunder, this is different now. This is a different ball game because you're going up against a guy that smells. You smell that? He smells his fourth ring. He's not playing with you guys. He's in Kobe mode. Like, and it was very weird, like, analogy to what's going on here. Kobe, when he won his fourth ring, it was in Orlando. He beat the Rockets, faced the Nuggets in the conference final. This is the same thing that LeBron James is going through. So this is even more motivation and fuel to the fire for the Lakers to win the championship. I think the Lakers are too focused. I think the Denver Nuggets are tired. See, when you play consecutive 7 games, right now the Denver Nuggets are like, if we were talking counting seasons, they played almost 2 seasons. 2 seasons of Game 7s in the playoffs. So you take those extra playoff games, you take those 21 extra playoff games, and then you add them to what they're going to face in the Western Conference Finals, they're going to run out of gas. And I think that's what's going to happen. That's what happened to the Clippers. They ran out of gas. But that's my pick, Lakers in 6. Hoops Junction, Hoops Meets Hoopla. Like, comment, subscribe.